Hey, well, thank you very much for that. And thank you all for being here. My name is Debbie Baker. I am the OER coordinator for the Maricopa Community Colleges in the Phoenix, Arizona area. And I'm really excited to be here. And my co-presenter is online. Jacqui, would you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name is Jacqui Higgins-Dailey, and I am library faculty at Glendale Community College, which is part of the Maricopa County Community College District.
Thank you. Okay, so we are here today to talk about our Creator Fest that we put together. Maricopa Community College was given approval a couple of years ago to offer bachelor's degrees, and we're really excited about our bachelor's degree programs. And one of the things that we were able to do, just kind of being in the right place at the right time and having the right conversation with the right person, is really wanted to approach the development of these new 300 and 400 level courses with an affordability lens from the beginning. And so we designed what we are lovingly calling a Creator Fest. And we have run this for 2 years now. And in that Creator Fest, we are asking the faculty that are working on building these new courses to create using that affordability lens. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Okay, so what is the Creator Fest? And here's where I'm gonna read from the slide. So I'm gonna turn around here. Oh, no, I'm not. This is Jacqui's slide. Okay, go ahead.
No worries. So as Debbie mentioned, just to go back a bit, in the fall of 2022, the Higher Learning Commission approved accreditation for all 7 of Maricopa Community College District's bachelor's degree programs. So out of the 10 total colleges, we have 7 colleges that offer bachelor's degrees now. And so the Creator Fest is an opportunity to offer curricular support to faculty by while they're creating these new bachelor courses, right, to incorporate open education resources, zero textbook and low textbook cost options. So the program is opt-in, it's funded for faculty, and it's available for any of the Maricopa community colleges that offer bachelor's degree programs. And of course, in the first year, these were brand new courses that faculty were creating. And as we move forward, we're hoping that after these courses were already created, that we will encourage faculty to continue to try to integrate OER, ZTC, and LTC so we can get some more Z degrees up and running fully for a bachelor's degree.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so how did we do this? What did we do? Well, we created an online program to offer professional development for these faculty. That professional development program spanned 2 different phases. We started it in the spring semester and we ran it through the summer months as well. We set this up using a Canvas shell. Maricopa, most of our colleges use Canvas, and so this was a nice platform to be able to share information with all of the faculty at the same time. And so in that Canvas shell, we provided some information about open education. We provided information about the Creative Commons licensing. We provided information about some pedagogical practices, right? I'm an instructional designer, so I'm all about giving the faculty some different ways that they might be able to approach the teaching and learning that's happening in their classes. We provided some different strategies for how to locate these types of materials. And we set up the professional development, not just through the Canvas shell, but also with some live online webinar type sessions. We brought in the librarian to the faculty directly. We set up opportunities for the faculty and the librarians to connect during those sessions. And we set up a space for the faculty to seek out their own professional development during the summer. So we really wanted to align both the development of the materials with some professional development for the faculty through the Creator Fest. Okay, and then because this was about building those course materials, we provided all of the participants with a worksheet and we asked them to complete. And we have one of our colleges, Mesa Community College, that has done a great deal of work around building a Z degree program and working with faculty to design courses for a Z degree program. And so we were able to borrow and reuse their worksheet and modify it a little bit. And so through this worksheet, we provided space for the faculty to put in their course objectives. We provided space for them to put in the materials that they found, and we asked them to identify on the worksheet if the materials were low cost or no cost, and what the source was for those materials. And in this way, those of us facilitating the Creative Fest, we were able to go back, look through the worksheets to see how well the faculty were really understanding what we'd asked them to provide and maybe give them a little bit of feedback. Hey, Jacqui.
Yeah, sorry, I had to unmute. So librarians, as we know, have been a support system for discovery and development for OER and served important roles assisting faculty in moving to a more open environment. So in this program, library faculty are able to coordinate directly with those faculty in a container that allows them to work together during the spring and summer to build these course materials. So many faculty participating don't have extensive knowledge in OER or in zero textbook cost, low textbook cost materials. And the librarians are able to help them navigate this landscape, offer guidance, and find materials, and sort of act as accountability partners to motivate and encourage. So for example, we all know that, oftentimes faculty need help with OER discovery, but sometimes faculty don't necessarily know what is OER and what isn't OER, right? And so we're there to help them, to guide them through that. So if you look at, or if you think about the worksheet that Debbie just showed, they were able to provide links or documents to the materials that they were using in that worksheet. And then a librarian could go through that worksheet and double check it. And so for example, if faculty said they were using OER and I would go and double check it, it might not be OER. And that offers me the opportunity to kind of circle back with them and say, hey, this isn't necessarily OER, but it is zero cost. So let's market that and let's have a little bit of a discussion on what would qualify for OER. It also allowed librarians the opportunity to help faculty figure out the best way to share those resources. So for example, faculty would indicate whether something was a library resource or not. And if it was a library resource, a librarian could share whether or not it would be smart to use that as a link to an article in a library database, or redirect them to download it as a PDF and share it that way. Because sometimes, as we all know, in databases, remove certain materials and keep others, and rather than link check all of the time. Or oftentimes I would run into faculty sharing open web resources that are free, but certainly not OER, and kind of guiding them to whether or not that was the best option, depending on what that link was, right? If you're going to have to link check your entire course every single semester, and maybe even halfway through the semester, that might not be the best way to offer a free resource. So we might try to use something else. So really it was this kind of guidance and also a conversation. We know OER discovery and creation is a conversation. And so it's a constant back and forth between deciding, is this OER? If it's not, what is it? How do we use it? What's the best way to share it with students? And when do we decide that it's okay that something is zero cost because this is the best option, or we really want to try to use something that is OER? And then helping faculty understand how to adapt OER, right? I think a lot of faculty think that if the entire OER material isn't what they want, that they have to throw it away, but kind of reminding them that they can remix it, reuse it, and kind of adapt it to any way that they like. And it does eventually give them a lot of freedom, but it is something that we're all working toward understanding, right? So it's that conversation that we're constantly having. And then, of course, collaborating with other OER creators and kind of being that liaison and go-between as a librarian. So yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what were some of the outcomes from this Creator Fest? We've run this for 2 years. We are looking at, we have a strong possibility of having funding to be able to run this again this year. But just looking at what we've accomplished over the last 2 years, we now have 2 Z degrees created in the Maricopa Community College system for our bachelor's degrees. That was huge for us. We had 41 faculty participants over these 2 years. Some of those people came back the second year. Some of those people did more than one class because we had 54 courses developed. We had 7 participating colleges out of the 10 Maricopa community colleges. When we look at the number of students that have enrolled in those programs, we know that we are impacting approximately 2,000 students with this work. And we've had 11 participating librarians. We set up a fairly rough ratio of 6 faculty to 1 librarian for each of those sessions, each year that we did this Creator Fest. And we found that that was a good ratio because it allowed for the librarian to work on those different projects with those different faculty. And many times the faculty were working on the same degree program for that college. And so that librarian was able to help the faculty to see like, oh, this resource was in this class. You know, does it carry over into your class, or do we need to find a different resource to support that? And when we look at projected cost savings for those 54 courses, and current enrollment is almost 2,000 students, we're looking at a projected cost savings, to look at it, of approximately $2.7 million, just as a result of those 2 years of the Creator Fest that we ran.
Yeah,
it's kind of exciting, right? As we expect those numbers to just increase as more students enroll.
Yeah, and I just want to add that I think that, you know, our goals moving forward are to encourage those faculty who may not have participated in the past to continue working towards those to continue to come forward and participate, to continue to try to grow these Z degree programs. It looks like we have a question in the chat here, so I'm going to read that out. How are you handling course maintenance, such as ensuring created OERs are maintained over time and pre-existing OERs materials are still available each year? So that's a great question. Debbie, do you want to?
Sure, I can try to tackle that. So if I got it, it's a maintenance of the OERs.
Yes.
Over time, basically, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to back up a little bit and say this program was very much about affordability. We encouraged the use of OERs, but it was not a requirement of the program. So many of the faculty opted to use library resources, which was kind of exciting for the librarians that were part of the project. And for the OER maintenance in particular, we treat that as we do the other OER maintenance across the Maricopa system. Maricopa's open education program is a little over 10 years old, and we have an internal grant program that we offer to faculty. And sometimes what happens is when those OERs need additional maintenance, those faculty will apply to to complete our grant our internal grant program to do that maintenance. We encouraged the faculty to work collaboratively, but it didn't always happen that way. And so what we don't have here is we don't have a count of how many of those courses leveraged open, how many of those courses leveraged zero textbook cost, and how many of those courses chose to leverage low textbook cost materials, which in Maricopa is defined as $40 or less. More data, more information to pull together.
Other questions? I'm gonna use the mic so we can be sure that the questions are captured in the recording.
Hi there, are you going to be, is the Creator Fest gonna look different as this has evolved and you're not creating new baccalaureate programs, or how do you think it might change?
Sure.
You know, it's now you're just trying to get buy-in versus these brand new courses.
Yeah, great question. So, we think that we will have another year at least of working on these bachelor's degree courses, right? Maricopa has for the last, I'd say, 4 years, really worked to incorporate some type of a Creator Fest into our programs and to meet the needs of faculty across multiple colleges. So yes, it looks different because the needs of that program varies. Right? We have certainly, we think, improved this particular Creator Fest over the last 2 years, and we're going to improve it again for the 3rd year. We've already identified lots of ways that we know we can make it better. But we really want to design the program to meet the needs of the faculty that need to create something. That makes sense.
Hi, my question is a question of capacity. With the librarians being assigned 6 faculty members, how much capacity was that taking up in their daily activities? And with 7 colleges, did that require a lot of manpower on their side?
So Jacqui, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. You know, a bulk of the work that we did was over the summer, and luckily, as a librarian at Maricopa County Community Colleges, we're all faculty, so we are on 9-month contracts. So during the summer, as long as we don't have a lot of overload, it really was primarily what we were doing. So the workload was very manageable. We did start working in the spring, but a bulk of that was the work that we did was during summer 1 and summer 2. And for example, for the first year of this Creator Fest, I split the work with another library colleague, and I did summer 1 and he did summer 2, and we were able to collaborate that way. So really it was what we focused on for our summer work. That helps.
And if I can add to that, we learned from the first year how much what we thought the amount of time we thought it was going to take the librarians was nowhere near. We took a lot more time, and so the second year we estimated for the librarians between 10 and 20 hours of work per class that they were supporting, and we both years we provided a stipend to the librarians that were doing this work, and we upped it the second year because we knew it was going to take more time than we'd expected.
Just wanted to check and see if there's anything maybe coming through the chat as far as questions or comments. Not hearing any, if there's any final questions in the room here.
You just mentioned that you improved the Creator Fest a lot over the 2 years, and I was just curious if you would share some of the improvements.
We spent a lot more time on the Canvas course. We put a lot more information into that shell and set that up with more resources. So the first year we provided for example, we provided general information about the high impact practices from AAC&U. The second year we provided multiple pages in that Canvas shell about those practices, including additional resources from the library system in Maricopa so that faculty who, let's say they wanted to adopt more of those high impact practices, they could drill in and find additional information about it. So the first year it was very high level. Hey, there's these 10 or 11 things, and wouldn't it be great if you use them? And the second year we really tried to give them more ways that they might be able to use them. So that's one example. The first year, we were very prescriptive with the professional development. We said, we really want you to attend these 6 hours of professional development. You're gonna do 3 hours in the spring and 3 hours in the summer, and we want you to come to all of them. And the second year, we said that was so not realistic. So we said in the spring, here's 3 hours of very specific content that we need to give you, and we need you to be aware of things like Creative Commons licensing and how to find materials and what do we mean by affordability and all of that. And then the second year, we opened up that additional 3 hours of professional development in the summer, and we asked faculty to find their own. And they could go into more of affordability, they could go into more open education, or they could go more into their own subject area, and then let us know what they chose to do and why they felt it was important for the work that they were doing as part of the Creative Fest. So we just kind of tried to listen to our participants, and really grateful to the people that went through it that first time and gave us this feedback, and then react, right? Improve. And this next year coming up, we're going to improve it again, assuming we get funding.
Thank you for this presentation. I have a question about accessibility. How do you handle accessibility, checking to make sure the content is accessible and the alternative text meets the criteria? And also just making sure the entire course is fully accessible. How do you do that? And I know it's a lot of work, so that's why I'm asking you.
So I'm gonna say we don't, right? Like that's not on us as facilitating the Creative Fest. That's on the faculty and the college that they're at and the work that they do to actually build the course in their space. We do provide information about the accessibility, and that was one of the improvements we did the second year around. We provided a lot more detail and a lot more information about what should be there. But what we're really looking for as an outcome from these participants is that worksheet. And we're not looking for a completed Canvas shell. I'm not asking them to give me all of their materials. We're asking them to tell us how they are addressing affordability through these new courses. And so we really had to draw a line to say what can we reasonably facilitate and provide support for, and what do we need to give back to or put on the responsibility of the faculty and the support systems that they have available at their colleges. So
About a minute left, so I don't know if you want to do any kind of wrap up.
I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Jacqui, for all of your work. Do you want to say something, Jacqui?
Yeah, just thanks so much for taking the time to listen to our presentation, and yeah, thank you.
We did provide the slides. I just learned that I'm supposed to also upload them to the app, so I'll take care of that this afternoon. And of course, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to either one of us. We'll be happy to share anything. Thank you.